So the business end of finals day truly gets underway here at Adria Karting Raceway. It's now time to decide our first of two international trophy ticket winners. And at the moment, Dragos Avicii will lead the field onto the circuit itself. So let's have a look at the starting grid for the second final for Micromax. Having taken the win by just 52 thousandths of a second in the previous final, Dragos Avicii will start from pole position. Jakub Gasparovic from Slovakia will be alongside him on the front row. Paul Schoen from Switzerland and Germany's Noah Janssen in the 41 and the 31 round out row number 2. Slovakia's Branislav Rentka in the 15 and the Netherlands' Boris Maximov in the number 30 round out the top 3 rows, ahead of Germany's Maximilian Pirch in the 11 and Felix Kiss from Hungary in the 91. Tom Pappenberg in the 48 from the Netherlands and Slovakia's Michal Soltis in the 43 rounds out the top 10. Completing the starting order for this second and last final here on finals day for Micromax. It is Christos Malakos, it's Jan Stenzel in the 84 from Poland, Germany's Christos Malakos in the 27, Hungary's Marcel Zebo in the 78, Maxim Becker in the 55 from Germany, the 95 of Germany's Gabriel Hoffmann, with Alexis Meneses from Latvia in the 26 and Leopold Schuch from Germany in the 22. So another 11 minutes plus an additional lap of racing action for the drivers here. And Avicii has one hand, and I repeat that strategically, one hand on that international trophy ticket. But if Jakub Gasparovic wins the race, and it's confirmed, Gasparovic wins on countback and takes the ticket for Le Mans. 11 minutes plus an additional lap to go in this weekend for our youngest competitors. So it's Avicii and Gasparovic who are leading the field through into the final right-hander here on this 302 meter circuit. So just over 1.3 kilometers in length. Here we go. Are we ready? Are we steady? The lights are out. They're off and racing, and already Avicii gets a good run. Paul Schoen and Noah Janssen get their way past Gasparovic, who's going nearly 3 abreast down into turn 2 for the first time. But it looks like Gasparovic has also lost out to Branislav Rentka and Boris Maximov in the initial exchange, as Avicii being closed in on by Paul Schoen, as Noah Janssen tried to look up the inside of the Swiss driver, going through into turn 4 for the first time. But now it's all kicking off behind, because you've got the likes of Boris Maximov trying to go for third position on Noah Janssen. And the move has happened, so the Dutch driver ahead of the German, going through into the next double left-hander complex, and being hung out to dry there a little bit is Branislav Rentka. So Jakub Gasparovic is on the comeback trail, and now it's all kicking off behind. So we're about to get into the completion of our first lap, and Dragos Avicii ahead of Paul Schoen by 68 thousandths of a second. Then it's Boris Maximov, Noah Janssen, Branislav Rentka, and there is Maximov up the inside of Janssen for third place, going through into turn 2 there. So a good showing from the youngsters out on the circuit. In the minute, Tom Pappenberg has got past Jakub Gasparovic, who started on the front row. Another resurgent display, again from Gabriel Hoffmann, who is currently up from 15th to P12 at the moment, and is closing. Maybe he has even gotten past Christos Malakos, as there's another overtake happening a bit further down the order, and that is Maxim Becker, I think, that has just been passed more than... Well, it might be Maxim Becker. No, it's Christos Malakos that might have more than likely been passed, but there goes Gabriel Hoffmann. The positions are changing all the time, and the field is getting closer at the bottom part of the order. Alex Meneses from Latvia rounds out the 17 strong. So now Maxim Becker up to 8th ahead of Felix Kiss. There is Noah Janssen trying to go up the inside of Boris Maximov. Rentka and Pappenberg not too far behind. And here is the comeback kid, Jakub Gasparovic, who's trying to go one way, then the other, past Tom Pappenberg. But the Dutch driver managing to keep things even Steven. Boris Maximov has lost out to Branislav Rentka. Noah Janssen back up into third place, as the two leaders have started to stretch a lead. And at the moment, Avisil Kultai is in prime position to win this event, irrespective of whether the Austrian finishes first or second. If Paul Schoen takes the victory, that's great. But Avisil Kultai will have a cumulative total of 45 points if Paul Schoen gets past. And Avisil Kultai is 27 thousandths of a second ahead, as now it's 3 wide going into turn 1. Hang on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Micromax has definitely got the elbows out well and truly. You can see the 2 leaders up ahead, but now it is all kicking off between everyone else behind, and you can see there a move from Rentke up the inside of Janssen. There goes Papenburg. Janssen runs a little bit wide coming out of turn 5. And there is Jakub Gasparovic. And Maxime Becker is in that melee as well as, Papenburg trying to thread the eye of the needle into the right-hander. 3 wide nearly. But they all make it safely through. And now Janssen's going to lose another position, this time to Maxime Becker if he's not careful. But the German hits the curbs going through the inside of the right-hand hairpin on the apex. And the 2 are side by side, but Noah Janssen comes out the better side of it on that particular exchange. As now Felix Kiss is being pressurised by Germany's Gabriel Hoffmann, who sweeps up the inside going through into turn 1. But has he made the move stick? The 2 leaders line astern, and look at this melee. It's absolutely kicking off at the bottom part of it. Michael Zoltis has gotten in on the action as well. You've got Maxime Becker, Gabriel Hoffmann, amongst others, and they are all battling for the same piece of tarmac. And Hoffmann up the inside of Michael Zoltis to take back the position. And there is Christos Malakos. And Zoltis has dropped 4 positions as a result of that exchange. And now Felix Kiss being pressurised by Gabriel Hoffmann once again. This is absolutely textbook Micromax racing at its level best, and no one is giving any opportunity whatsoever to their rivals. It's about the drivers having to make opportunities for themselves. 6 minutes and 3 seconds still to go, and the lead has changed. So Paul Schoen ahead of Dragos Avisil Kultai, but Jakub Gasparovic has just under 6 minutes or so, plus an additional lap, to get his way up to the leaders, and finds himself, 4 seconds off of Paul Schoen. And at the moment, that is 3.8 seconds off of Dragos Avisil Kultai. And now this is where these 2 need to just start doing what they're doing, not start battling. They just need to keep going. But there is your 2 leaders at the moment, and Paul Schoen from MH Racing being mechanics by Jan Schwitter. We now go back to the battle for the final step. Well, the final part of the top 3. Branislav Rentke is ahead of Boris Maximov, Jakub Gasparovic in 5th place, and Tom Papenburg is with them. And in the meantime, Maxime Becker's got past Noah Janssen, Gabriel Hoffmann past Felix Kiss up into 9th place. And there's a good little move there by Boris Maximov past Branislav Rentke through the left-hander at turn 4. And now Jakub Gasparovic fancies a piece of the action and is trying to get past his KF Racing teammate in the number 15, but that's easier said than done. But then the door is well and truly left open by Rentke as Gasparovic pounces and goes up the inside. Nice and cleanly there goes the number 19 from Slovakia. 4 minutes and 20 still to go, and the leaders last time around were 3.5 seconds ahead of this battle. Let's see what the gap is now, shall we? 4.149 seconds. Whilst that quartet have been battling over 3rd position, Schoen and Avisil Kultai have started pulling away. Avisil Kultai has the fastest lap of this race so far, as Papenburg looking up the inside of Rentke and has got the job done through the left-hander at turn 4, now into the left-hand hairpin here at turn 5, and now they exchange positions once again. It swings and roundabouts here in Micromax, because if you carry the momentum and you manage to get a good purchase, like we saw with Papenburg, but then instantly Rentke had the measure of what to do next. So sometimes these drivers, they might be going through one corner, but they're probably looking maybe 2-3 corners ahead, as if to instigate their strategy. And this is where it is ultra important. Ultra important indeed. But we head into the last 195 seconds plus an additional lap of this race. And Paul Schoen has started to bridge a gap between himself and Dragos Avisil-Kultai. Boris Maximov still battling away with Slovakia's Jakub Gasparovic. And this is the battle for third position on the road. And this could, I'm just having a look here, this is going to be rather interesting. If Paul Schoen finishes exactly where he is at the moment, that will put him second. So we're looking at it from this perspective. He'll win it on countback, so it'll be 36 points apiece. Hang on a second. No, Paul Schoen was third in the first final, and there is drum for the 84, and that's Jan Stencil from Poland. So looking at it from this perspective, Gaspar, and there is the 43. That's Michal Soltis, who's just come to a grinding halt. The Slovakian out of the race. So it has taken its toll on some of the mechanical machinery these drivers have been running on. But we are coming into the last couple of moments, plus an additional lap, and Gabriel Hoffmann making a good impression on his first European international race event. From 15th to 9th, he was running as close to the top 5 in the first final earlier on before an incident where he mounted the back bumper of somebody else going through the final hairpin, spun him around 360, but he got going and kept on. And that's the thing. Even if you have a moment, you do not give up. You do not give in whatsoever. You keep pushing until that checkered flag. And that is what Gabriel Hoffmann personified in spades earlier on today. I know his family is watching at home, and also the family in other parts of Europe. So thank you very much for tuning in. So just under 90 seconds to go. Paul Schoen has just put in the fastest lap of the race, so 57.004. So Michal Zoltis confirmed as a retirement effectively as soon as, for those watching the live timing, is, oh, this is getting rather dicey for third place, as Branislav Rentka goes up the inside of Jakub Gasparovic and now tries to go up the inside, nearly does a bit of a carpe diem, seize the day, if you will, but didn't get past the Dutch driver. This is the battle for third position. We're into the last 60 seconds of this race, and with the way things stand at the moment, Paul Schoen is looking pretty good for getting onto the second step of the rostrum, so that'll be 41 points, with Dragos Avisil-Kultai ending up being on the top step. But we have 31 seconds to go. This battle for third position, well and truly not over yet by a long shot. Well, actually it will be, because look how big the gap is between Boris Maximov and Branislav Rentka. It's jumped to nearly 1.1 seconds in that exchange, as they're now on the penultimate lap. But Papenburg looking to do a number up the inside through turn 2. Can he get through? Yes, he does. But no, they make contact and they go wide out of turn 2. So straight away, the run for fourth position between Rentka and Papenburg comes to a grinding halt. And that has opened the floodgates for the likes of Jakub Gasparovic, Maxime Becker, Noah Janssen, who at one point was running in the top 3 and actually started alongside Paul Schoen on the second row of the grid. The timer has now expired. And next time around, Paul Schoen, who's extended that lead last time out to just over 4 tenths, will take the final lap board. And the gap between Paul Schoen and Dragos Avisil-Kultai now extends to nearly half a second, but less than 1,302 metres to go in Micromax competition here at Adria. And there are our two leaders. Paul Schoen, who has waited and bided time, couldn't get into the top 2 in the first final, but this resounding victory for the young Swiss driver will give him an opportunity to be on the second step of the rostrum. But Dragos Avisil-Kultai has been the unstoppable force this weekend, and we are just corners away from seeing our first checkered flag for the second set of finals this weekend. It will be a win in final 2 for Paul Schoen, who takes a quick glance over the right-hand shoulder, going into the left-hand kink and out of the final turn. It's victory for Paul Schoen, but provisionally Dragos Avisil-Kultai from Austria will head to the International Trophy at Le Mans in late July having taken second position. And there goes the show of sportsmanship between the pair of them. Well done to all our competitors. Boris Maximov comes across the line and finishes in third, ahead of Jakub Gasparovic, Maxime Becker, Noah Janssen, Tom Pappenberg, Branislav Rentka. Good job by Gabriel Hoffmann to finish ninth, as now Paul Schoen, absolutely jubilant, celebrates with Boris Maximov. You can just see, this is what I love to see with these Micromax drivers. They're good friends off the track, but they battle hard on it. 10th, Felix Kiss, Marcel Zibo in 11th, ahead of Maximilian Pilch, Christos Malakos, Leopold Juch, Jan Stenzel, Alex Meneses, rounding out the 16 that finished, but unfortunately a retirement for Michal Zolotis from Slovakia on lap 8. That is it for Micromax. A big well done to Paul Schoen, but congratulations to our Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy ticket winner from KSCA Study Europe, Austria's Dragos Avisil Kultai from Austria.